Football has returned. Look at the happy faces here. Wow, there's a little bit of a dance there. Welcome to Highly Questionable. That's Izzy Gutierrez. What do you like on the show today, Izzy?
Arguably the most influential quarterback of Week 1, Nathan Peterman.
Oh, I thought you were going to go Fitzpatrick. Dale, Papi.
What's last night about the greatness of Aaron Rodgers or the Bears choking like dogs?
There cannot be a better pass thrown than the one he threw to Geronimo Allison in the history of the sport. But do not blaspheme against my beloved hero, who might as well have ridden in on a white horse, shirtless and slicked in oil, because he took the storyline and the game and the whole day's events from Khalil Mack, from everybody who played Sunday, coming out through injury to do that to the Bears after being ransacked earlier, when you thought and everyone thought, there goes the Packers season, right there, taken off on a cart, to come back from that and throttle Khalil Mack on the night of his life was amazing to see.
I've seen teams blow leads. I've seen bad coaching decisions. I've seen defensive stars play great and still not win a game. But I don't really care about all that when Aaron Rodgers was doing what he did yesterday. We can talk about the Bears stuff any other week because any other team's going to do that. But Aaron Rodgers on one leg going out there and doing what he did was absolutely remarkable. There have been times in the past where I thought Aaron Rodgers gets bored with his own talent. He wants to sort of challenge himself, maybe even throwing on the run unnecessarily to just hit his target. But last night on one leg when he says, okay, 3-step drops, all I got to do is zing it to this guy, no problem. I'll take away, about 60% of my arsenal and still beat this team doing this. It was amazing to watch.
You know what's funny about this, though? He should have been picked off. The game should have ended with Aaron Rodgers losing. And what would we be doing today if that were so? Talking about Khalil Mack is the second coming of Lawrence Taylor. Instead, we're not doing that. We're raving in a way that makes my father want to throw up on the keyboard.
I'm telling you something, I was picturing Trubisky, going for a victory lap, around Lambeau Field, and all of a sudden Fuller drops on his interception, and then the next thing I know, this guy, Aaron Rodgers, throws a 10-yard pass, and the guy turns it into an 85-yard touchdown. Are you kidding me? That's what Rodgers does. He throws his screen pass, 10, 15, 5, 15, 7, all of a sudden 35, 40, 55, 60-yard gains, Grossly overrated. And gets the credit for all of that.
All right.
Plus, he was faking it.
Oh,
that's right. He was faking it. That's right.
There it is. You faker, Aaron Rodgers.
The Serena get host.
This is what people are talking about today. A 20-year-old who's kind of good and might be challenging. Serena won the tournament, but we're talking about sexism and what happened with Serena. She went full brat on something here. Let's watch this. So here you've got her coach allegedly coaching.
We don't have any code, and I know you don't know that, and I understand why you may have thought that was coaching, but I'm telling you it's not. I don't cheat to win. I'd rather lose. I'm just letting you know.
So later, she's frustrated here with her racket.
Seen a lot worse racket crushes than that.
Racket abuse. Point penalty, Mrs. Williams.
It's a code violation for that.
Character? There's something is wrong. It's wrong. You attacking my character. Yes, you are. You owe me an apology. You will never, ever, ever be on another court of mine as long as you live.
Serena was watching her coach give her a hand signal.
Verbal abuse.
And now,
Mrs. Williams.
That is the stuffiest, starchiest response at the end of that video. From on high in tennis, raining down judgment. But everyone can have behaved badly in this scenario. Listen to Serena here afterward. She changes the conversation. It stops being about tennis rules and starts being about something else.
I can't sit here and say I wouldn't say he's a thief because I thought he took a game from me. But I've seen other men call other umpires several things, and I'm here fighting for women's rights and for women's equality and for all kinds of stuff. And for me to say thief and for him to take a game, it made me feel like it was a sexist remark. I mean, like how he's never took a game from a man because they said thief. For me, it blows my mind. But I'm going to continue to fight for women and to fight for us to have equal. Like Courtney should be able to take her shirt off without getting a fine. Like, this is outrageous, and I just feel like the fact that I have to go through this is just an example for the next person that has emotions and that want to express themselves and they want to be a strong woman, and they're going to be allowed to do that because of today. Maybe it didn't work out for me, but it's going to work out for the next person. Thank you, everyone.
I completely understand when people say, like you mentioned, both parties could be wrong here, right? Because everybody seems to be backing Serena. But if you look at the letter of the law, this umpire maybe didn't do anything wrong, right? Everything that she did, supposedly, whether it be the coaching warning, whether it be the racket smashing, whether it be the verbal abuse, could all create those sorts of penalties. But let's be real here. The spirit of the law is entirely different. The way it's enforced, like we see that happen often. We don't see these types of penalties. We shouldn't see that against the greatest player in the world, the greatest player the women's side has ever seen, and we should give her some leeway, just like we give NBA players leeway, for example, before that second technical foul, right? What she said was pointed, it was harsh, but she wasn't out of control. She was saying it quickly to him and then turn the other way. And I totally understand then if you pivot afterward in the conversation and say, hey, men get away with a lot more because they do.
Okay, but something happened here that can make both of these things true. It can be and feel sexist, and she can have behaved as she often has when she's losing and frustrated as a competitionaholic with an unreasonable temper. That's not okay, the way that she behaved. It's not okay. It's not something that you look at and say that's the way a professional athlete should behave. And that doesn't dissipate in any way the admiration I have for everything she's accomplished in her career. She was emotional, she was frustrated, and then the conversation became about sexism afterward.
And I understand that too, but going back to the spirit of the rules, Rafael Nadal also told this same umpire for giving him a different violation that he will never referee one of his matches again. That's two of the greatest players of all time saying this to this same umpire. There has to be a reason for this. He probably goes a bit too far in his rulings.
How should Le'Veon Bell feel today after watching the Steelers tie the Low-Leaf Browns?
I am a 49-year-old journalist who has some credentials. I will tell you how he feels through the thorough reporting of telling you that he already told you how he feels with a monocle emoji on Twitter. He was watching and he enjoyed that because he's holding out. But I'd rather laugh at the Browns today. I don't know how any of us should feel about a tie, but think about this. That's the best the Browns performance you've seen in a home opener since 2004. They're still in last place today with a tie and a 5-turnover advantage yesterday.
I'm not sure what Le'Veon Bell should feel. He could be happy that his team tied the Browns and seems to need him, but also James Connors, his replacement, had a really good game. I think he should be offended, first of all, by the celebration after Connors' first touchdown with his offensive line. He seemed so joyful and seemed ready to hug them all when they were all giving Le'Veon Bell a hard time. I don't know where this goes in the future. I don't know if this game means much of anything. But if I'm Le'Veon Bell, I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to be a part of a constantly underachieving organization. That was an embarrassing tie, if there is such a thing. And I don't know if Le'Veon Bell wants to go back to the Steelers if, so far, as they've shown, they kind of don't want him back.
You know, people think that James Conner, he looked good. What do you guys think?
Nobody thought that. Here's James Conner without his helmet. There it is. It is not the helmet that did that to his hair. That was a choice.
I'm going to withhold judgment until the barber actually finishes the job.
It's okay for not withholding judgment. Don't wait. You can do it now.
Are you tempted to think Ryan Fitzpatrick is good?
This is unbelievable here. This was surprise of the weekend. The Saints, you knew the Saints were going to win. They were going to win big because the Bucs had their backup cornerback. And so Ryan Fitzpatrick comes close to putting up 50 on the Saints and looks as good as you've ever seen him. And here's the problem with that. He could do that once every 3 or 4 years if you keep trotting him out there. We've seen him do it for about 10 of these years. You can't trust him to consistently do it. You better not or you're a fool.
Well, we've seen Ryan Fitzpatrick have a 6-touchdown, 0-interception game. We've seen him have a 0-touchdown, 6-interception game. So it could go anywhere with this guy. But the reason I'd be nervous if I were Jameis Winston is that Deshaun Jackson, he is a chunk wide receiver. He gets big plays, right? Mike Evans can be that type of big play wide receiver. Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't care. He's going to go out there and throw the ball to them down the field. And if for 3 games he is successful at that, Jameis Winston's going to come back to a backup role because that team looked crazy explosive against the secondary last year that was really good.
Here's what I love about this, though. I really feel the Harvard and the beard are hurting Fitzpatrick because if Johnny Manziel played the way Fitzpatrick did, all crazy everywhere, but with occasional success, there were 6 touchdown performances, that quarterback would be a quarterback that a lot of you would fall in love with.
Are you kidding me? The guy was on fire, you know. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be a one-game deal, but I'm telling you, 36 years old, he went for about 400 yards on the air, and you know what? And he rushed in for a touchdown. That's what impressed me. You know, a 36-year-old going in for a touchdown, against all odds. You know, I got my money on Ryan. Did I sell it? Did I sell it?
My father does that with his elbow.
It's like a football thing. It's intimidating.
What's his last name?
Fitzpatrick.
How do you spell it?
Well,
Fish. You spell it. Fish.
Spell it.
The way it sounds.
Okay,
Fitzpatrick.
There you go. Fitzpatrick.
Fishpatrick. Fitzpatrick.
That is how you spell it. It is.
Would it be a mistake for the Bills to start Josh Allen in week number 2?
How terrible is it if you are a Buffalo Bills fan today? Your season is over. Any kind of hope that you used to have about what football was going to be for you is not going to be pleasant this year. And you know it based on yesterday, because your choices are Nathan Peterman, who all of us can see, throws 400 interceptions every time he plays, and he beats out the rookie that you want starting because that guy's not ready in any way. I feel bad for the Bills. This is going to be a nightmare of a season.
And the saddest part is this is coming off of a playoff appearance, and here they are one game in, and there's nobody in the league whose team looks sadder than this. And Nathan Peterman in his 3 starts has been replaced every time, either by injury or by flat benching. This season has to be about Josh Allen finding out how much of a mistake they made in drafting him. Or finding out if he's actually any good, because so far it doesn't look like it's the latter.
Man, what else can Jose Flacco do? He had a hell of a game.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Jose Flacco had a hell of a game. They don't give him any
of that. They never give
any credit for
any of that. Whatever that was.
You got the spread on that. It was about 75-3. You know, and the guy that behind the Ravens was Jose Flacco, my favorite quarterback. No credit whatsoever. Josh Allen is no good. Nathan Peterson is no good. How about Jose Flacco being a hell of a quarterback? I want to hear that. That's music to my ears. Coming up next on Highly Questionable.
He's 6'8", by the way.
That guy's tall.
Oh, number 13 is what I meant to say. Oh, no, Mr. 11. There's 11. My bad.
Computer, execute 12.4p operation.
Optimizing algorithm. Running encryption packet alpha. Night. Oh, I don't feel so good.
What is it, computer?
Is it hot in here? It feels hot in here. I feel a little clammy. I should lie down or something.
A computer with a virus? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
Those oysters Rockefeller were a mistake.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Time to play the game that you have not bet at all on the Bills. So you question.
How are you still here? You give us topics and events, we question them. All of it?
All of it.
Oh.
Do you question if this is cooler than the turnover chain?
All right, last time we checked in with the coach of Florida State, Willie Taggart, he was inexplicably wearing a whistle around his neck while on the sidelines, a whistle he would not use. Now we check in their second game. They are playing Sanford. They are struggling against Sanford. They barely beat Sanford, but when they get turnovers, and they got 5 of them in the game, they celebrate by copycatting poorly the University of Miami turnover chain with a backpack. I don't know if is that good? I don't have any style. Is that a good bag? Is it an expensive bag?
Does it have a Seminole logo on it? Did they just pick it up before the game because that's what it looked like? The only way that can be cool is if they create some sort of mystery about what's inside the bag. Is it the fictional head of Gwyneth Paltrow? Is it more whistles for their coach to have on the sidelines not to use? I don't understand it.
Why would we have the fictional head of Gwyneth Paltrow in a collegiate backpack? It was a box, not a bag.
I know, I'm changing it.
Oh, I know what is in the bag.
What's in the bag, Papi?
Cash. Lots of stacks of cash.
Stacks of cash.
Yes, it's the new envelope after the game, the backpack during the game.
Do you question if number 11 played this off well?
What do you call Ole Miss?
Ole Miss.
All right. Ole Miss is what we're checking in with here. And Southern Illinois. Let's see what happened here with number 11. He's 6'8", by the way.
That guy's tall.
Oh, number 13 is what I meant to say. Oh, no, Mr. 11. There's 11. My bad. There it is. He's giant.
Oh, man. How did Ole Miss give up any score to a team that can't even get the apparent chest bump right or whatever that celebration was? Ooh, he's out for the season.
Do you question if this show must go on?
Seriously, my producer just said some sort of cheerleading or gymnastics practice. That is the vetting process that we have around here. Let's check in with this. Ouch. Woo. Ouch. Yeah, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. Yeah, you need to writhe somewhere else. You need to writhe somewhere else.
Look at this slow.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's even looking at her.
Oh, no, one of them is, and look, the one right behind her looks at her and then gives her one of these. Look at that, watch this. Bang! Bang! I don't care how hurting you are.
You know who shouldn't try out for that squat? Spider-Man.
Oh, yes, I remember this horrific video. One of the best we've ever shown around here. And there it is. A trauma for child and children throughout the land.
Highly questionable is broadcast from the Clevelander Hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. Time to play the game that ate so many wins yesterday that my lips are still burning. See? Oh, no.
You tell us what to watch on TV tonight. Look, he makes himself laugh. He makes himself laugh.
Tonight on ESPN, a Monday Night Football doubleheader.
More football. We could gorge, binge more football. The Raiders are playing tonight. Let's check in here with John Gruden's most notorious decision so far. Yeah. He let this guy from last night go. This guy is a wrecking machine. There it is. That's a sack and fumble recovery. He just took the ball from Deshaun Kaiser.
He was given by
and then,
Chicago Bears.
Yeah,
Welcome
just took
to
it from
Chicago.
him. Deshaun Kaiser, not great pocket awareness, running toward that person with the football. And then there's some of this. That's just crazy.
Here we go. He read that so well.
Yes, here we go. He knew where that was going.
And Mack will take it all the way in for a touchdown. How crazy was that?
You know what, though? Hold on a second. That's all well and fine, but why don't you guys throw up there the video at the end there when the Packers were winning and the last thing was Khalil Mack gasping for breath at the goal line and tripping over his own feet because he was exhausted because you know what? Aaron Rodgers did that to him. Izzy, are you intrigued?
I'm very much intrigued. I'm also intrigued just to watch John Gruden maybe make some more mistakes because he hasn't been in coaching for so long. What is this red handkerchief in my pocket? Let me just throw it out there in anger all the time. I really want to see him coach.
Okay, the red handkerchief. We're going to look back, right, in a few years and be like, really? We were throwing a napkin on a field in $1 billion sport to question rulings. Papi, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. Are you kidding me? Xavier Sam is going to be, appearing tonight, as his first appearance in the NFL. Are you kidding me? That's right. I gotta be right there where the action is. And then you got Gruden, he's going to say only. What the hell I'm doing here, I had a cushy job with ESPN. I'm not right here, under the fire, I want to see his face. How many times it's going to change the expression in his face,
In Korea, the KBO.
I feel like no one in the history of this network has covered this league the way this program has over the years. The bat flips, we love them. Is this a bat flip story or is it something else?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is the greatest of all the bat flips. The one where you spin around and pirouette and throw your bat somewhere on the field. Yes.
When do they have bat flipping practice? Because clearly they need such a thing. Look how smooth that is.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely knew what he was doing from the second he started that swing. No look, I'm out.
That was beautiful. Izzy, are you intrigued?
I mean, I think I just said everything that I am
That's
intrigued.
Right. You probably don't have more on that. It'd be difficult to have more. Papi, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very, very intrigued. But listen, that guy doesn't always flip the bat.
What happened? What do you mean?
That's right. That's the guy.
That's a homer. He didn't flip the bat. Oh, is this the guy who just carries it with him? Oh, spoiler alert. Yeah, he just gave that to the first base coach. There you go.
That thing cannot touch the ground. It is hot.
On HBO, Swiped, hooking up in the digital age.
HBO does everything well, documentaries included. What do we have here?
I probably use every dating app.
It became so easy. Why wouldn't you do it?
There you go. There's a match.
They were like, no fat women, no blacks, only 18 to 25.
All the guys, they're looking for that night hookups.
Most of your Tinder dates get physical real quick.
I'm so caught up in how I look. And then I'm also caught up in how they look.
It's hard work, that self-presentation. Social media is enlightening a lot of young women to realize I don't have to be treated like a sex object for the rest of my life.
I do remember when you used to call people on the phone. I think if you called someone these days, you'd probably get labeled a psychopath.
This is outside of my father's age bracket here. Izzy, are you intrigued?
No, because I don't like horror movies. I was on one of those dating sites for about 10 days. It was a horror movie. I do not need to relive that.
All right, Papi, be careful with the word horror, please, in your accent. Papi, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. Listen, I've been using these services for a long, long time. I've been sweeping for many, many years. Swiping for many, many years.
Swiping.
And one of these days, I'm going to get swiped back. I'm telling you, one of these days, soon, coming soon. It's going to be my 10th year anniversary. Soon, I'm going to hit the jackpot.
But hi, how are you?
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for... That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
If you like what this is, check out the radio show 10 to 1 Eastern every day on ESPN Radio. Check it out. What is that?
It's all right.
Do you want to see my profile picture?
Yes. Let's see what we've got here.
Hey.
Oh, there it is. Good Lord. Look at the beefcake there.
Looking good, Papi.
There would be so much swiping there. So much swiping. Tender swiping.